Hey, it's Kevin with the New Warehouse podcast, bringing you a new episode today. And on today's episode, I am going to be joined by Pascal Jetté, and he is the VP of Business Development and GMR Safety. And you may remember that we had GMR Safety on previously. So we're going to be checking in with them, getting an update from them on what they've been up to and what's going on in the market that they're seeing as well. And I think this is going to be an episode, we'll say, that will be chock full of good insights because they are dealing with chocks within the warehouse environment. And we'll learn a little bit more about that too as well. So, Pascal, welcome to the show. How are you?
I am good. How about yourself, Kevin?
I'm doing well, doing well. Good to get you on the show here and good to get GMR Safety back on as well. It's been a little while since we've had you on. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about your role with GMR Safety? We've had Jay on before, but this is your first time on the show. So, tell us about a little bit about your role there and what GMR Safety is all about.
So I've been with GMR for 20 some years at this point. We're manufacturers of unique technologies, all patented technologies to prevent accidents in the loading dock operations for large companies. Personally, been doing business development. Beginning, I was doing mainly parts of Canada, mainly Toronto, and in the last 14 years, been focusing mainly on the U.S. Obviously, great people, great territory, great opportunities. Um, with the GMR, we like you mentioned before, and you are correct. We have a different approach to safety. Um, we have unique technologies where actually we're aiming at 100% of the times. Every time, every one of our customers do their dock operations, we're trying to make sure it's always going to be covered. Okay, so yes, we have a chalk, but a chalk with some bite. So no, that's what we've been doing, loading dock safety, and it's all patented solutions. So unless you've seen the power truck in one of the shows like ProMat or Modex, it's not something that you're just gonna run into. It's very different approach.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, and I've seen it at the shows, and it certainly is a much more robust chalk than some of the other options that are out on the market there. And I guess maybe too for people that are not familiar with the term chalk, why don't you tell us what that is exactly and what it does?
Okay, so bottom line, all customers and everybody watching, you're home, you're drinking a can of Coca-Cola, you're having any product that you are purchasing in a store. Actually, people get manufacture those products and need to ship them to the stores eventually to you, so you can use those products. So what we came up with is it's called the Power Chalk. It's a technology that we are going to make sure that whenever they ship a product to any customers, okay, that they're going to do it safely. So loading docks, and there's been a trend, and as we all know, with Amazon, and now everybody had to react, and people do shipments now to people's homes, to smaller facilities. So there's been a trend in the industry. Uh, Instead of having lots of 53-foot trailers, but there's also a lot more now straight trucks and smaller trucks to be able to do delivery. This is where GMR comes in, and that's why so many customers now have been standardizing with our technologies.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, yeah, and essentially the chalk itself, right, is keeping that trailer in place, right? So there's no movement when you're going in and out of it, correct?
Correct. Yes. So the chuck will actually prevent a driver from pulling away. Okay.
Mm,
So let's say accidents are often for simple reasons like miscommunications or drivers not paying attention. Everybody has good days and bad days. Thank God when I'm sitting behind my computer, nobody actually can notice that I'm having a bad day. But
Mm,
if a driver doesn't pay attention, doesn't look at lights, well, sometimes you need a solution to make sure that he is not able to pull away and create an accident for your dock employees. That's why we work with lots of companies that everybody's familiar with, like the Walgreens, the Home Depots. Well, these
mm,
guys have so many loading docks. A good process will go a long way. But what we do with the power truck is that we actually implement that, enforce that process to make sure that our power truck, which yes prevents the truck from pulling away, is always going to be in use whenever anyone is trying to proceed with the loading. Okay, leaving the option for people to use or not to use safety. If you look at cars, at some point back in the days, people could just put the seatbelt or just leave it hanging. you know
right.
Realistically, at some point the car industry just came up with the concept that, hey, we'll make sure it's going to buzz all the way down unless
Yeah.
you do it whatever is safe for you, right? With the power chuck, we go one step further, the sense that we don't have a buzzer, we don't have, no, we're actually going to cut the power to your dock plates unless it's going to be safe for your dock employees to proceed with the loading. So,
Mm. Yeah, yeah, and definitely a critical thing because as you mentioned, I mean, it can be a very dangerous situation, right? If there is some movement within those tasks and those things going on in the dock area as well as the yard too. So very important product that you're bringing to the market here. So tell us, I think the last time we had GMR Safety on was probably over a year ago, I think at this point now. So tell us a little bit about, in the last year or so, how the industry has kind of changed a little bit, and how GMR has been able to evolve and keep up with some of the changes in the industry.
yeah, yeah, no, GMR over the last number of years has we have such strong relationships with our customers, and most products, most technologies, most improvements we've done over the years came up from discussions we had with our partners, customers, that about situations they were dealing with, and they needed, to resolve. So what one of the latest technologies and products we came up with is called the PowerChuck Auto, that
Mm,
it's actually going to provide that same 100% safety that we always provide. But what we find is that sometimes customers want to make sure that it's going to be done automatically. Okay,
mm,
so
okay.
there is a trend in the market where people want to make sure they keep control for the safety process, and they can do it from the inside. So that's one of the things that we've been testing, and that's been very successful. Okay, also we've got other aspects. Okay, some customers were asking, well, hey, what if someone really wants to try, and how much beefer and safer can you make the power chalk? So we actually came up with something that, even if the guy making the chalk, our chalk is a beast. It's 19 inches high. Okay,
Mm,
so it's providing already the best restraining force on the market. What we came up with as well, it's something to go all the way high to, like, more than halfway through the wheel. We go to 23 inches high. So even if
wow.
drivers, and several tests were made, actually purposely were going to decide and create an incident, which obviously is not something that would be common, but the power chuck would 100% from prevent it from happening. So that's a couple of the new features we've been coming up with.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, going to 23 inches tall, I mean, it's very high, right? And I think it's very different than a lot of the other. solutions for chocks that I've seen on the market, right? So tell us a little bit about I guess tell us a little bit about kind of the idea of the power chalk and where that idea came from and how it's kind of different to some of the other solutions on the market that are trying to accomplish the same thing.
Okay. So Parchuk's been around for a while now, and people
Mm,
who came up with the concept uh, were familiar with different technologies that were existing and that were, there's good products on the market. They mainly work with the ICC bar in the back of the tractor trailer. Okay. If people, as they drive on the highway, maybe you're going to pay attention now. If you look, there's like a U-shaped bar in the back of the trailer, which is, naturally it's made to make sure that people don't go and run under the trucks, okay, and kill themselves, as they're driving. But it's been used to prevent vehicles from pulling out of the loading docks.
mm,
So different, all the technologies that exist on the market for this have been using this, which is a good idea, a good option. Unfortunately, different vehicle designs don't have an ICC bar, okay? Because you've got straight trucks, you do home deliveries, like I was mentioning earlier, or also, some of them are going to be bent or damaged because a car hit it, because, for whatever reasons. At the end of the day, those products will mostly be reliable, okay? But they're probably going to work, depending on the industries, 60, 70, 80, even 90% of the time. Um, well, when you're looking at safety, I don't know if anybody would be satisfied with a solution that's going to work, 80% of the time. So four times out of five, you've got 50 loading docks, and you're going to be okay. Well, these 10 docks need to have some kind of alternate process to make sure that we can have some kind of operations that are, that will still be secure. So the what makes the power truck so unique, okay, and whenever people try it, they actually, it makes their life so much easier, because we actually have a solution that provides 100% safety.
mm,
And this, when any one of those companies where we know they've got hundreds of facilities, they've got thousands of loading docks, people have better things to do in their everyday life than to try and micromanage to make sure, well, that every loading docks in their distribution centers, or their manufacturing facilities, are going to be safe. Okay, so this is where we come in, and we offer a solution that will bring peace of mind to all our customers. So it's 100% safety. It's all interconnected with lights, with alarms, with all the bells and whistles. So people don't have the option but to follow process. Every one of those big companies has very strict processes in place. But then they are finding ways, struggling to make sure that people follow them on a daily basis. What we do with the power chop is that we enforce it, okay, with different sensors, with our control packages. We enforce it to make sure that no loading can ever happen unless it's going to be secured previously,
mm,
okay. And this, again, probably most of our customers were using other types of technologies before. Once you start using the power chalk, you can actually focus on what you're supposed to do with it, which is ship the products you've been manufacturing, take care of your own business, instead of trying to find ways and to take care of maintenance on products that it's not your specialty.
mm. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's such an interesting approach, right? To make it this very um sound and structured type of approach to chalking the wheel, right? Like you said, if it's not engaged, then you're not gonna load essentially, right? So it's making sure that you have that 100% safety that you talked about, which I think is very very important. So I mean, tell us a little bit about, how does that make you kind of the leader in this space? And you talked about, most of your customers, had other solutions in place before they got to yours. So I mean, how did that kind of change what their safety program looked like, and how did that change just the overall, I guess, way that their dock would operate?
One thing with the power chalk is that we have a system it's all mechanical. There's all the bells and whistles. There's different sensors, but it's a simple design. So people have been familiar with using solutions that work with the ICC bar, but then they will have a second and a third option for dock safety because they want to make sure that they cover 100% of their bases when it comes to safety. Okay, so which involve sometimes signing off that you're bypassing the safety process, but you have no choice. But then you go with the alternate and the alternate solution. So people, when they move to the power chart, it just simplifies their process because they know that it's always going to work. And also the fact that there's very simple design also means that there's almost no maintenance on the power chart. Okay,
Mm,
so one thing that's also a big factor that companies really appreciate is that when a solution like the ICC restraints is gonna work on probably 80% of your fleet. Well, what's going to happen is that you're gonna need to make sure that people have access to keys to bypass the safety process. What's going to happen on a regular basis is that other loadings, even though they should be secured, might not be because people decided to just proceed, and it gives the employees the option to not always follow process because you do need to have access to the keys and to making sure the system is not going to be used. With the power chalk, this will not happen because people 100% of the time will be able to use their safety process. Okay,
mm,
so manager has a key, the director, the guy in charge of maintenance. Okay, if you need to do maintenance on your dock plates, but on a daily basis, you walk down a big facility of Shaw Industries or Dr. Pepper or Cisco or PFG that has hundreds of power chalks, and all
mhm,
units are going to be in functioning condition.
mm. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, making it so easy, right, to engage and work with, I think is such a key to having a successful solution there, because, oftentimes these safety things, whether it's around the dock or just the warehouse in general, can be an added step, right? Which oftentimes can make it something that maybe people ignore from time to time or don't do every single time, and that's where you run into potential safety issues there. So I'm curious for, companies that don't have any type of dock restraint system in place, or maybe using some older technology like the, classic rubber chalk block, right? I mean, what would you say to them, and how do you, kind of go about, I guess, explaining to them that the power chalk is something that they need?
Well, the the basic concept is obviously with the power chalk, you know that your operations are always going to be secured and they're always going to be safe, and your process is always going to be identical. Okay, so anyone who has not yet invested in dock safety might look at the, oh well, it's There's different solutions. Some of them are automated, so from the inside you go and you can press on the button and just activate an ICC restraint, and which is a priority for some people. That automation. The, the beauty about the power chalk is that yes, the standard power chalk is a manual process. Like as I mentioned before, power chalk auto would be automatic and manipulated from the
Hmm.
inside. But yeah, the power chuck, the standard one is from the outside. It's a manual process. But again, as OSHA will always require, everyone is involved in the process. The fact that the truck driver is actually involved, he's the one that's taking action. He becomes accountable. He becomes part of the process, makes the environment safer. So my advice to anybody who's got no solution would be, well, try and compare. Okay, if the objective of the process is to have automation, then definitely the solutions that are push button from the inside might look good to you guys. If the objective is to make sure your dock employees are safe 100% of the time, and that even if the truck tries to pull out, he's not able to, well, then the power truck is just a way better solution because the level of safety and security, reliability is there's no product on the market that compares to it.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that accountability piece that you mentioned there is such a key aspect, right? To be able to create that accountability from all parties involved. It sounds like, and I think that's definitely critical to be able to reinforce that safety aspect and make sure that it's happening, right, and it's going into place, and people are following the steps in the process they need to ensure that everyone involved is as safe as possible. So I love that it's bringing that to the table, and allowing people to do that further. So now you're going to be at ProMat coming up, right? So tell us a little bit about what that looks like for GMR Safety. What are you guys going to be showing there? We'll be able to see the GMR, the auto power track that you were mentioning.
Yeah, no, we will be showing the Power Chuck Auto. Lots of our customers you know, are have been informed and they've been looking forward to seeing the Power Chuck in action. Uh, to be honest with you, when we had the discussion with lots of our customers, uh, they really like the idea that the Power Chuck Auto is automated, but they've
Mm,
been used to the concept that everyone is involved in the process. Okay, and it's made actually their environment so much safer. So yeah, we will be exhibiting the Power Chalk Auto as an alternative to the Power Chalk. We're also going to be show the chalk, the higher chalk, the one that with the different designs, patented designs, to make sure that you just cannot go over it. Uh, different different other options as well that we will be having in our booth at Proma.
all right, great, and we'll definitely be looking forward to seeing that in person, and seeing what that looks like here at ProMat, and I'm very curious to see the auto, and how it's automated, and how that engages for the safety of those warehouse workers out there. So it's great to have you on the show here, Pascal, and talk to you about the latest with GMR Safety, and how you're continuing to improve the safety overall within our operations and our warehouse distribution centers out there. So really appreciate what you're doing. If people want to learn more about GMR Safety right now, or find out more information from you, what's the best way to do that or get in touch?
Yeah, no, definitely. If you go and you can find us under gmrsafety.com. You can go if you look out for the Power Chalk. Uh, we you'll be able to see our clips, our videos. uh, on the Power Chock Auto as well. That's also using our concept of our huge truck sitting on our ground plate. And yeah, we're looking forward to meeting with you guys at ProMat in Chicago in a couple of weeks, so we can shake your hand and get the chance to have a nice discussion with you guys.
All right, fantastic. And we'll definitely look forward to that. We'll put all that information at the newwarehouse.com as well. And if people want to see you at ProMat, what is the booth number?
Yeah, so our booth number is S4150, and yeah, we'll have a big team on site, and we're looking forward to meeting up with all of you guys.
All right, awesome. And that's S4150, which is in the South Hall of McCormick Place there in Chicago. So we'll be looking forward to seeing GMR Safety over there. And we'll put all that information at thenewwarehouse.com and in the show notes here as well so people can find it. So, Pascal, thank you once again for your time on the show today.
Kevin, thanks so much for having myself and GMR today.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's video here on our YouTube channel, the New Warehouse Podcast, and I appreciate you tuning in. If you liked what you saw, make sure you subscribe to our channel, and if you like this video in particular, make sure you like it as well. And if you want to get this great t-shirt that you see in the video behind me, Warehouses Are Sexy, head to warehousesaresexy.com and get your own.